Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Join me in St Paul's Cathedral, a proper tour for inside, and this is just my YouTube channel, so this is for my YouTube subscribers, this one. Hope you enjoy what you're going to see. This is my third visit now. I've done 2 visits from my London Luke Facebook page, and then this is the visit here, because I went live the other 2 visits, but with YouTube at the moment, until I get 50 subscribers I can't go live, so it's pre-records. It's the great font. The Virgin Mary and Child and votive offering candles. They're 30p each, which is obviously very cheap this day and age. You have Christ. Icons. We'll be seeing some more icons soon. I don't speak too loud in a cathedral, so I do hope you can hear me well enough. If not, then you just get a nice visual tour. Now we'll be going to see the memorial to Duke of Wellington, the Iron Duke. The lady said to me, "Do you need a guidebook?" And I'm like, "No, I have. This is my third visit. I'm kind of the guidebook." Oh, this is new. Wooden cross. This is probably something to do with Ukraine, I should think. And they've covered some of the grids up on the floor since the last time I came. Yeah, that's for the Ukraine. This is the tomb of the Duke of Wellington, the Iron Duke. I'll go a bit further back so you can see him properly. Let these ladies take their picture. Thanks. Looking down into the crypt now, that's the shop. But yeah. That's the Iron Duke up there on his horse. I mean, as you can see, the architecture in this place is just amazing. I can't do like massively long recordings, pre-records, but I'll show you as much as I can, like the inner body of the cathedral. My last YouTube thing, anything to do with St Paul's, were just like some of the graves down in the crypt of important people, like Sir Christopher Wren, the architect who created this place, or designed and oversaw the creation of this place. Duke of Wellington, Nelson, we saw his tomb as well. Thomas Fanshawe Middleton. We'll be getting to the most spectacular part in a minute, which is the dome. That's the stone galleries in there, which climb up into the dome, which we'll do if it's open, which it does look as if it's open. You're looking down at the high altar now, and behind there is the American chapel of remembrance for the war dead of World War II, which we'll go and see soon in a minute. And the piece de resistance, of course, is Sir Christopher Wren's dome. Unfortunately, the Whispering Gallery is closed until further notice because someone two people. The first one, they was never sure if it was a suicide or an accident. The second one decided to take the ultimate TikTok picture by standing on the very edge there and fell to their death. But two of them fell to their deaths, and it's been closed since then until they can make it safer. Whatever they do with it is going to have to be glass, because the way this was designed, nothing's meant to interrupt the gaze. It's designed in such a way. Up here, we'll see it. Right in there, when we get to the top, is a tiny little hole, and you look down that hole and see this pavement, which is so big. Obviously down here you can't take it in all in one image, but up there it looks tiny, and that shows how high up you are. If you like this video, please give it a like and a share. I'd appreciate that. It'll help my channel. I'm trying to build up my subscribers and get some more interesting content on my YouTube, you see. Where most of my stuff is lives on Facebook, I realise I haven't got a great deal of interesting stuff on the YouTube, so that we're working on now. This is where we've just come from, where the font is. We are now going to go and see Nelson, Admiral Nelson, the memorial to him. The actual graves are down in the crypt, which we should have time to do a tour of the crypt as well today. These videos, I'll put them on and then I'll title and description them later on and stuff, because I can't fill up the phone too much. So as one goes on, as one gets filmed, I'll put it on, clear it off of the phone, and then such like. Nelson, as a lot of people know, by the time he died, only had one arm and one eye. Around the edge of this thing is there some of his greatest battles: Copenhagen, the Nile, and Trafalgar, his last battle. That's Nelson, the memorial to him. One of my favourite favourites one. It's architecturally amazing. We'll go and see in a minute. Charles Marquis Cornwallis, Governor General of Bengal. I'll get near to the description. Obviously I won't read them all out. You can read these yourselves by pausing the video. I do like this one, not because it's got Britannia with her shield and her spear. Bird's got her jugs out. And these are some of my favourite things as well, what we're going to see now. Banners from famous battles, and some of them were in the funeral processions of Nelson, Duke of Wellington, down in the crypt where the Duke of Wellington's remains actually are, above his tomb down there, are standards that were flown at his funeral. And these, obviously, you can see the naval connotation because of the ships. I can't zoom in on my smartphone. When I first started all this kind of thing with my pages and with YouTube, I wasn't very good with technology, so I wasn't even filming in HD, and the quality wasn't great. But this one is now, what we're going to go and see is one of my, not favourites, but I find this one very interesting. Lieutenant General Sir Ralph Abercrombie, obviously because he had something to do with the Battle of the Nile. As I say, just pause and read anything you want to, but this is what I like about this one. Sphinxes. R. Westmacott, ARA sculptor, who created this. Amazing piece of art. Some of them have got the sculptor's names on, some of them haven't. I mean, I don't know how long this would have taken to carve, but as you can see, it's really amazing. There it is. Are you going to get some music now? They play music, which is nice. It adds a nice touch. Sir Astley Paston Cooper, Bart, BAR, and then a small T, and then all his titles and everything. Lieutenant General Sir John Moore, who was born at Glasgow in the year 1761. He fought for his country in America, Corsica, in the West Indies, in Holland, Egypt and Spain, and on the 16th of January 1809 was slain by a cannonball at Corunna. Nelson, of course, was killed, as we like so many that know, on board the Victory. Nelson is the one that had the message run up: England expects that every man shall do his duty. As you can tell, I'm quite fond of history. We'll go and see the other ones here. Then we'll take you around the back bit of the Duke of Wellington, the Iron Duke. Yeah, Duke of Wellington. And show you a bit more of his one. Joseph Mallard William Turner. Great painter, as we all know. Oh, loads of us know. I hope you don't think I'm being pretentious when I say things like that. It's just that me, I soak history up like a sponge. I'm not a particularly well-educated man, as you can probably tell by the way I speak, but history is just something I absolutely love, and it just soaks in. So, but as I'm always saying, I don't know everything, and a man or a woman that says they know everything is either a complete assured expert or fooling themselves. There's a good old Yorkshire saying that goes, "Man that says they know all knows nought." Cuthbert Lord Collingwood. I mean, the architecture of these is just, as you can see, it speaks for itself, doesn't it? Admiral Earl Howe, KG. Derived to his country by a brilliant victory which he obtained over the French fleet off Ushant on the 1st of June 1794. He was born 19th of March 1726 and died 5th of August 1799 in his 74th year. And look, I don't know if you can pick this up, but with the glass in St Paul's, a lot of it, you can actually see where it's handmade. It's lovely. And stunning weather today, really gorgeous. Last time I came it was miserable and cold and wet, and I had a great big thick jacket on. And by the time I'd climbed to the top of the dome and back again, I was absolutely soaked. This is how you get down into the crypt, which that will be the last part of our tour. John Howard. I'll go and show you the Duke of Wellington now, before I forget. More of him. Just pointing you down a minute because of this, there's quite a few people around. We'll see more of this in a minute, the high altar and the choir and that. COVID memorial being made here. You can smell the fresh wood. Something I must try and find out about is was in the old St Paul's Cathedral a shrine to St Erkenwald, who was the Bishop of London. He founded Chertsey Abbey and the Abbey at Barking, and there was a shrine here to him. And I think, I could be totally wrong, so forgive me if I am, but there may still be some kind of shrine to him here, but I've not seen it. So whether it's in an area where the public can't get to, I don't know. Here we are, behind Duke Wellington. This memorial is obviously the most splendid one. This, above ground here are just the memorials. Below in the crypt are where the last remains are, and they've still got massively splendid memorials in there as well. So there you have. Arthur, 1st Duke of Wellington, and around here are all his victories, battles. I can't pronounce some of them, but I will pronounce the ones I can. Victoria, Bayonne, Garonne, Toulouse, Nice, Peronne, Oulx, Waterloo, his most famous one, of course. Can't even pronounce that. It looks like Quatre Bras, Nivelles, Adour, Salamanca, Pelham, Bidosa, Badajoz, San Sebastian. A bit dark around this bit, so you do struggle to see some of them. Restux, Burgos, Canal Nueva, Torres Vedras. Yeah, anyone that wants to have a look at his victories. I'm surprised that around the back is the greatest victory of Trafalgar, but maybe this is the back bit of the tomb. Sorry for anyone that doesn't like spinning and spinning things. Now to find my way out of these chairs. It's a maze of chairs. There's no one here now, so I can film it better. It's to the people of Ukraine. Candles are only 30p each, so once I've done my filming, I do my own private things then. Floor time at the moment, because there's a lot of people here. Feed upon the Lord, whatever that means. I don't know. But it sounded Dutch or Scandinavian to me. Tours. The dome is obviously what St Paul's is best known for, but you'll agree the whole thing is just amazingly spectacular. Right. Down through these brass things, as I've said, is the crypt. Here, my pretty little petals, you have an icon of St Mellitus. Mellitus became the first Bishop of London in 604 AD. During this time as Bishop, The first cathedral in London was built on this site. There he is. Altar. Altar is where Christians share bread and wine, as Jesus asked his followers to do so in the Last Supper, with the disciples. People call this service by different names, including Eucharist, Mass and Holy Communion. As stunning as I find the dome, there's so much to this place. This is an icon of St. Paul. St. Paul, of course, is who this cathedral is dedicated to. This cathedral is named after St. Paul. He was an apostle in the 1st century AD and travelled widely sharing good news of Jesus. Many of his letters are in the Bible. Go and see. This round here is spectacular. The high altar is one of the most stunning things about this place. This is the pulpit, the grand high pulpit. When this place was first opened, when the monarch came, the first sermon was delivered from here. I think the church has tried to make itself more people friendly now, so it isn't so stern, strict, standoffish and fire and brimstone. See, in those days that you were made to feel that, know your place kind of thing. John Collett. He founded St. Paul's School. This is the staff that is carried before the bishop or the monarch or any very important person visiting. These are old remains from the old St. Paul's that burned down in the Great Fire. There's more of that kind of thing downstairs in the crypt. I'd love to find this shrine of St. Erkenwald, or find out if there is still one. Mandel Creighton, DD, was Bishop of London. You'll see his tomb down in the crypt as well. John Donne, preacher and poet. There's a statue of John Donne outside as well. Some more remains from the old abbey. Cathedral, sorry, I'm really sorry. I always call this the old ones abbeys and whatnot. The old St. Paul's Cathedral. And see how blackened it is. That's how where it was burned by the fire. Charles James Bloomfield, Carolus Jacobus Bloomfield, Episc. He was Bishop of London, basically. Luke does not know a great deal about Latin, but some of the names and things I can translate a little bit. Just down here, over to this corner, is the tomb of Sir Christopher Wren, who created this place. Copy of the American Roll of Honour. Please ask a member of staff for assistance. That's if you want to look in it. I will not touch them, but I will just lift the cover lid and show you. 1941 to 45. They change the books regularly in the memorial cabinet that we're going to go and see in a minute. This is all to do with the creation of this cathedral. And here you are, Sir Christopher Wren, the architect. Gwendolyn Gibbons, very, very famous sculptor, architect, and very creative man. Conception, a taste for the exotic, creation, realising the vision, carry out 300 years of service, and that's it. The conception. They liked the exotic kind of things. A lot of what you're going to go and what you'll see in a minute. A lot of the ideas came from Byzantine churches and things like that, with the mosaic ceilings and things. Do have to try and because of the windows. See what I mean? Here, look. Now that is just something that you would literally think is straight out of Byzantine. How stunning. Now I defy anyone not to look at that and think that it isn't beautiful or amazing. These gates are something else as well. Christopher Wren, really, this is his masterpiece, Sir Christopher Wren, and he poured his entire heart and soul into this one, and was lucky and thought himself lucky and glad to have seen the completion of it. Unusually for the time, Sir Christopher Wren lived to the age of 90 or 91, I think it was, which is unusual for that time. This here is where Her Majesty the Queen will sit at very important state occasions. Now I'll show you the choir stalls, and then the amazing, just stunning architecture of these ceilings is really something else. That Bible is from the 1700s. Now we'll look at the high altar, which is stunning, and we're going to go and see the American Chapel of Remembrance for the War Dead, for our allies. This is basically England's tribute to America for their part they played in the Second World War, but both World Wars really. I'll wait till these people come and show you. To the glory of God and in memory of the overseas members of the Commonwealth and Empire who gave their lives in the war of 1914-1918, that's First World War, 1939-45, Second World War. That is just stunning, isn't it? It really is. You can imagine in the days when, like before electricity, there's candlelight and things like that, when people come in here. I mean, we're left in awe now, but they really must have been in those days. Old St Paul's Cathedral had been, the spire of it had been struck by lightning. I think it was in the 1570s, 1580s, something like that. And the cathedral was in a very, very bad state of repair. Come the time of the Great Fire of London in 1666, Cromwell and Oliver Cromwell, and he's like in the Civil War, who did not like big cathedrals and whatnot, had stripped a lot of the lead off the roof to use, and it had gone into a right bad state of repair. So when the fire struck, there were plans to either completely renovate it, rip it all out, start again, and like keep the same building but renovate it, or knock it down and rebuild. But the fire did that for them. To the American dead of the Second World War, from the people of Britain. That's gorgeous, isn't it? Very fitting tribute. So many lost their lives in the Second World War. And I'm glad all the Commonwealth men and women were mentioned as well, because in both World Wars, when you look into it, you'll be surprised exactly how many fought and from where they came. I mean, people from little villages in India and places like that and whatnot. These men and women should all be honoured like that, all of them. Sorry. No, you're fine, that's alright. Yeah, this is all hand carved, that's wooden and then gilded. And what we're going to see now, the Rolls of Honour, they do put a different one in. They turn the page every day, and then when they get to the end of the book, they put a new one in. So many people in the world owe these men such a great debt, don't they? All of us. It's very ornate, this place, and some do say it's gaudy, but the capital city of England, when it lost its cathedral, London was devastated and it needed a new one. And other big cities in the world have such splendid things, and this is what we ended up with. King of Kings. I mean, like, every time I come here, you just notice different things. And I mean, every time I come here. So we're going to have a couple of minutes quiet for the men. If you pay for the tours and stuff, you get to go and sit in the choir stall, but I prefer to do my own thing. We shall go and see a piece of modern art, then I'll end this one, upload it, and do the stone galleries. Mother and Child by Henry Moore.